What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to Black Madonna HP's Table Etiquette Saturation Sunday. Throat chakra messed up because I got a lot of things to say, but I haven't been saying it to the people I need to. So I'm going to tell you guys that right off bat. Either way, I got this download because I've been doing a little thumbnails and stuff. I'm enjoying the thumbnails and all of that type of stuff, enjoying the level of creativity. But I got this download about Little Red Corvette, right? And I'm like, Little Red Corvette, ain't that like a 1980 song that Prince did, right? So I'm like, okay, well, let me look it up. Let me see what this Little Red Corvette is all about. So I look it up and whatnot, and I'm just flabbergasted by what was discovered about why that download hit, right? So the Little Red Corvette, right, implies the nature of a promiscuous woman. And I'm not going to say man just because it confuses the situation a little bit. So let's just say he's talking about a promiscuous woman, right? And this woman in the song, basically, I feel like he just met her and he was trying to get to know her, but she instantly was like in this very sexual energy, right? Wanted to have relations with him right away. So he's thinking like, dang, she moves fast, like she's not worried about a relationship. She just has these sexual urges and desires that she's trying to fulfill, right? And so he's like, baby, you much too fast. You moving too fast, right? So this woman who had this powerful sex drive was just looking for a one night stand. And this is what all of the talk about Little Red Corvette was implying. It was implying that loose women, maybe even some women not realizing that they're loose women, right? Loose women tend to think that they're beautiful on the exterior, right? But they have the lowest self-esteem. So they might, in fact, like want to jump in the bed with men more easily than women that have high self-esteem or high morality. So he's talking about, I should have known the way that you parked your car that it wouldn't last. So I'm like, he's speaking in reference to the way she looks, right? The way she carries herself, her demeanor, the way that she shows up, right? Maybe, she has on a mini skirt and, all this makeup, whatever, but he should have known by the way that she dressed that it wouldn't last, because that's not what she was interested in. She wasn't interested in a relationship. She was interested in just having intimacy with him, right? And then he's like, yeah, I should have known you the type you love and leave them. So to him in this song, she had no morality to herself. And this song, it was a 1980 song. I'm trying to think back in the 1980s, what was going on? Was it as bad about casual sex as it is now? Because for him to make a whole song about a promiscuous woman who was too easy to get in between her legs, and he felt unsafe, and he felt like in the long run she was going to wear and tear her body down. What was going on in the 80s, and especially with this woman that inspired this song, right? So when you think about it, a lot of women, they spend their time trying to figure out, how does men feel about them, or why men don't share their emotions and things like that. Like, they articulate their emotions in different ways. They treat you how they feel about you, because in this song, Little Red Corvette, it was actually showing the dynamics of that first meeting, that first date, and how a man may think about you or how you may appear to the next person. And I'm sorry, I got to make this very generalized to women, because the song Little Red Corvette was actually talking about the essence of a woman, right? A loose woman, a woman without morals, a woman without boundaries, a woman who devalued herself to a man who was actually scared to lay down with her, to the point where he was wondering How many people have been here before me? Because it was that easy. So as women, you got to ask yourself, do I make it that easy for a man, or do I really make him work for it? Do I really value myself enough to make him work for it? Because that's the only way that they're going to appreciate you, if they have to work for you. I sometimes I don't agree with Shira. She has a large following, and I understand she's trying to teach women how to value themselves and get these things out of men, but I just feel like she goes about it in the wrong way, right? It's valuable information, don't get me wrong, but it just comes off kind of like a Delilah spirit because of the way it's delivered. Like if she was delivering it in a way where it was like talking about how to make yourself a more high value woman versus how to just get men for money, or how to, seduce men and get them to, just pour all this stuff into you, I might really agree with a lot of her content, but I don't agree with her content because it comes off as a Delilah spirit, like a woman that's willing to do whatever to promote herself. And doing that, you're actually selling your spirit, right? You're selling yourself. And I don't feel like any amount of money is worth you having to sell yourself off to any person, right? So getting back to this little red Corvette, right? So these women, they're around here and they got red Corvette bodies, right? Red Corvette bodies, but it's basically the inside is that of a Pinto, right? They don't value themselves, they don't love themselves, and guys are seeing it. And I feel like that's what the whole download was about. It was a download about loose women and loose men in 2024 and how they're showing up in society. It's just way too easy. No one believes in courting and really getting to know a person before you lay down with them. But in doing that, you're accumulating a lot of different soul ties, a lot of different bodies. Okay. And for women, your body count matters. Everybody knows that. A lot of people won't tell you that, but your body count matters. Okay. So I feel like, this little red Corvette can go in so many directions, but I'm just going to keep going in the direction of the promiscuity, because we're living in a time where women nowadays show everything, right? In the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, they didn't have to show everything. Look at how popular TLC and SWV and those type of artists was in the 1990s, and they didn't show everything. It's like now they want to put it all out there, and they have, nothing to really for a man to be mysterious about. He knows what it is. And this is the type of women that are little red Corvettes. Now, some of these women are high value women, right? They may be more in the class of a Rolls Royce, right? They might be more in the class of a Bugatti. And it's only because of the way they carry themselves spiritually. When you think about it, you have to order a Rolls Royce, right? You can't just go out and pick up a Rolls Royce like you're going to pick up a Chevy. No, you have to custom order it, right? You got to tell them, what color you want the guts to be. You got to tell them, if you want your doors like this. Like there's so much that goes into creating a Rolls Royce. And I feel like so many women have devalued themselves to be around here in these little red Corvette instead of being in these high value energy of like Rolls Royces or Bugattis. I feel like men are picking up on this, and they ass is not off the hook. Let's talk about the men. Men are loose as all outdoors too, and I think that's also what's making loose women, right? Men are supposed to be the head, women supposed to be the tail, all that type of stuff if you feed into that type of stuff, right? But men are also loose, and a lot of times women may be doing this maybe because they've been hurt before, or maybe because they man cheated and they man, so now they're going to cheat. But whatever it is, whatever happened, it's like in 2024, it's just casual sex. It's not about relationships. I was even surprised, right? One of my clients reached out to me, and she was Somalian, and I'm not trying to hate on the Somalians, but it was kind of shocking to me because you expect for people in these easternized communities that come from these easternized sectors to come to the United States and still have that sense of morality, right? But for the children of the immigrants that got here, you know, in the early 90s, early 2000, they are also dealing with the same thing. So it's literally a collective energy, right? And I'm trying to figure out, why is casual sex okay? Is it because they sexualize women all over? Because what it's starting to look like, and this is so bad, is they want to make the men look like villains, right? But it's like, from a man's perspective, just imagine yourself being a man in today's time. What about a woman do you really have to respect nowadays, right? Like, you know, they show everything, you know, everything on them is kind of fake. Their hair, their nails, their whatever, their boobs, their butt. Like, it's not a whole lot for a man to really be mesmerized by and wonder about the mysteriousness behind this person, because it's all out there. And as soon as they open their mouth, that further tells them if this is a woman I can settle down with, or if this is one of those little red Corvettes that I'm just gonna hit tonight and just keep going, and she's gonna call my phone and I might come back and hit it a couple of times, so on and so forth. You know, I feel like a lot of people that ended up in tarot land didn't realize that they showed up as little red Corvettes in relationships. I'm sorry to say it, because, you know, this woman, I don't want to say she was desperate in this song, but why was she so adamant to have sex with him, like on the first date? And the man is, I mean, in this song, Prince is all like, you know, well, I just met you, but maybe it's okay because it's a Saturday night. And, you know, like, damn, she moving fast, which means she may have been taking the steps that a man should be taking as far as initiating sex with him. Or, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes as women in 2024, we have been so conditioned to being there for ourselves that we don't know how to let a man show up in our lives and be a man, right? A man needs to feel needed. Sometimes women, we wonder why they end up with XYZ. If you ever wonder why they end up with that girl, she ain't as pretty and she ain't got as much as you, it's because she allows this man to feel needed, right? Miss Independent over here don't know how to make that space for a man to feel needed nor wanted, right? So that's one of the things too. Furthermore, the ending of the song, he was talking about how her body was gonna be, right? Her body's gonna be wore down, because he seen she had a beautiful body, right? The exterior of her was beautiful, right? But her spirit person, right? I feel like he was talking about, of course, her internal guts was going to be all messed up by the time she get older. But I also think he was talking about how life was going to get in the inside of her, because she was allowing for so many men to like be inside of her, right? And then I was thinking about, well, if you allow that many men to be inside of you, you wonder why you see older women and they're like bitter, they're angry, and you're like, damn, she mean as hell, because life has gotten inside of them. And sometimes that has been the way it's gotten inside. Now you're upset, you're mad because this particular man or whatever, he's not dealing with you in the way that he may deal with some of the other women or whatever, right? You want him to be your person, but maybe something in this person knows that, hey, this girl has been around. I mean, this message seemed like this is for a particular group of, I don't want to call them names, but this is for a particular group of women that is okay with having casual sex before really getting to know a person. And then they discover and find out who the person is after they've already had sex with them. And it's because of baby girl. It's the way that you are showing up in the connection, the way you are showing up in the relationship. And the guys don't get past this. Let me say this, guys, you aren't getting past this either, because some of you guys are moving way too fast with these women. You don't know these women, you know, and you lay down with them. These women can have any type of venereal disease. These women can have lurking child's father, you know, in the background, or ex-boyfriends. You don't know what you're getting yourself into, and you are taking a risk and a chance with these women that you don't know. But you find it to be fun at the time. But there are women that's real Lucifers out here, just like there's men that's real Lucifers out here. You know, I don't know if you guys see my post. Oh my goodness. I want to get into this a little bit because it's heavy on my heart too. Both of these were kind of heavy on my heart. But my post, right, as far as sex trafficking, since we're on the topic of sex trafficking, No one is really talking about it. I mean, there's some people that's advocating for it, but and talking about it, but there are real predators out here that's like in human form, right? And they're preying on kids. Some of these women that they're dating these women because they have kids. Because how else, as we were growing up, how else were all these children getting molested? They say 1 in 3 children have been molested, right? So it's like, man, be careful out here, period, men or women. There's a lot that's going on out here as far as sex and people that have this sexual spirit on them, the sexual demon. So I feel like you guys need to be careful, like who you're out here dating, who you're out here actually laying down with. It's a lot deeper than you may think. Okay. But either way, that's the message I have for you for Saturation Sunday. I'm going to go ahead. Do I feel like doing zodiac signs? I don't know what the zodiac signs I did. But I'm going to go ahead and do some life messages. So I'll come back and do those. Other than that, I thank you guys so much for tapping into Black Madonna HP's Table Etiquettes. Until next time, love, peace, and so take care.